Well, how's it going? This is Dylan with Dylan Talks Tone, and we want to immediately talk about why we're even doing this video. We have a radio show on kprlive.com every Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's called Dylan Talks Tone. So we have a radio show, an internet radio show every Monday night, and it's live. And so one of the things that we've been doing is take a subject from that show that we talked about this week and kind of just expound upon it a little bit more in a video, especially since sometimes you kind of have to have the visual to go along with what we talk about on the radio. So if you go back to kprlive.com right now, there will be a show link that you can listen to a replay of Monday night's show, and actually we'll leave that in the description of this video. One of the things we talked about was the how electric guitars work, how sound travels through an electric guitar, and some of the misconceptions kind of that go along with that. And there's a couple of things. The reason I'm shooting in my kitchen today is because I'm going to use my kitchen table. It's key to the video. I'm going to show you a couple of things that will kind of blow your mind a little bit, I hope, and get you to think a little differently about how an electric guitar works. So that being said, let's get right into it. So we have a Dylan Custom Guitars Tele style right here, and basically one of the things we want to talk about is when we're talking about an electric guitar. So an acoustic, just real quick, an acoustic guitar is really like a drum. It's like a percussive instrument, and basically what happens is when we pluck the string, it vibrates a soundboard. It creates the whole box of the acoustic guitar to move. It pushes air, and it actually pushes it from kind of all directions, right? So from the back of the guitar, from the front of the guitar, it pushes air across the room. Sound waves are moving air. It hits your outer ear. It moves a little hammer. It bangs the drum in your ear, and your brain does brain things, and you hear. Okay, so that is from your outer ear. That's how you hear things. Okay, obviously that's how an acoustic guitar works. Now an electric guitar is a little bit different. Now obviously we can make sound with it, right? And it'll make some sound because these strings will vibrate, and they will move a little small amount of air, which will so an electric guitar is a little bit different. Now we can make sound with it, right? Because when we strum it like this, we can move a little bit of air with each string, and that'll do the same thing and make our brain do its thing, and we hear it. Okay, so I can hear it from there. You can hear it because, obviously it's hitting a microphone and it's coming through, and you can hear that. Obviously it's not as loud, but the reason is because the goal of an electric guitar is not to move air with the mechanical components of the guitar itself. Okay? What the goal of an electric guitar is, when we play a note, okay, when we're visualizing a note, we're writing a song and we hold the pick a certain way, we have the right kind of attack, in our hands, we've got a bend going, whatever we do, we're visualizing this sound, and you're like a rock star in your head, and you're like, like whatever. So you have that sound in your head, and when you pluck that, that's what you want to hear, okay? So the job of the electric guitar is to duplicate the thing that you're trying to visualize in your head, okay? And the way it does it, and when the string moves within that magnetic field, it disturbs that magnetic field. It excites a current within the magnetic field. Well, let's say this. Because of how a pickup works, it's a transducer. So the motion of the string within the magnetic field excites a current, creates a voltage inside the pickup, okay? And that pickup then sends it through everything, goes to the amp, and it amplifies that small voltage, usually, like 400 millivolts, something very, very small, okay? So that's how it works. Now, if we pluck the string and nothing happens because our palm is on here, or because there is some sort of thing muting the string, or our fingers are wrong, or we do a plunk note with our pick, that note stops and it no longer produces the sound, right? So when we're producing sound with an electric guitar, we're not trying to move air with the electric guitar. We're not trying to move things. All we're trying to do is move the string how we intend to move it between the nut and the saddle. Okay? The whole Einstein theory of relativity comes into this because basically what it states is when we're trying to convert one form of energy into another, it's all about efficiency. Okay? So what that means is, just to kind of put it in simple terms, is we're trying to convert one form of energy to another. With an acoustic guitar, we're not trying to do that. With an acoustic guitar, we are actually trying to make this little motion bigger here and then move a lot of air so that you can hear it across the room. With an electric guitar, we're trying to convert forms of energy. So we're trying to actually take the motion from this, convert it to electricity, and do it as accurately as possible. So if it moves like this, then this magnetic field moves like that. It creates that voltage that corresponds to that motion, and that's the sound that we hear. If anything else other than that happens, a loss of efficiency from a fret buzz, from a nut that is cut incorrectly, from any kind of buzz or any kind of rattle or anything, is a loss of efficiency from the note. So, why are we bringing this up? Because a lot of people will say, well, when I strum the guitar, that gives me the whole tone of the guitar. Like, when I go like this, if it's nice and resonant, I hate that word. This guitar is so resonant, and I just strum a bunch of guitars, and the most resonant one is the one that I hear. Okay. If a guitar is moving over here, that means that you're losing energy out the guitar. Okay? And people will say, yeah, but that's tone, man. The thing is that when we hold a guitar, here's something that will blow your mind. When you hold a guitar, so let's see, how do we put this? If I hold this guitar and I play a chord, what I hear is going to be different than what you hear sitting across the room from me. And here's why. Because we are feeling the vibration of the guitar, and you are only hearing the movement of the air from the amp. You are not feeling the vibration from the guitar in your body. Why is this significant? Again, it goes back to how our ears work. When I am speaking from inside myself, I am hearing from the inner ear. I'm not hearing air come out, and that's why when you put headphones on, it sounds weird to you, because we're not hearing the same way as air is moving across the room. The guitar is the same way. As soon as I take this guitar, put it in my lap, and start to feel the vibration, it's different than what you're hearing coming out of the speaker. Okay? So if I hand this guitar to you and you start to play it, it sounds different simply because the vibrations that are coming through my body are changing how I hear the tone. The tone of the guitar is not different. It's because I'm feeling the vibrations. So that being said, those vibrations coming through the guitar are energy lost that need to be kept right here as much as possible. As soon as a vibration goes out across the saddle and out across the nut, some of it comes back, but not as much. That's what the decay is. So if we fret a note and we listen to how long it takes to decay, that's sustain, right? That is dependent on how fast the stuff disperses outside of the tonal area of the guitar. We don't want it to disperse. We don't want the rest of the guitar shaking, because the rest of the guitar shaking means that the energy is dispersing suddenly and we have less sustain. We want to keep it within here as much as possible. Okay? So that is why saddle design and nut efficiency, the cutting of it properly and everything, is probably the two most important things to guitar tone, and your setup is the most important thing to guitar tone. So, fret buzzes, okay, how we play, even intonation, because intonation is two different notes that are interacting with each other, and if they're off, they're going to kill each other faster than when they're in tune with each other. So intonation is a huge thing for tone, not just being in tune. There's a difference, okay? So because those notes can kill each other. But the bottom line is, just because the thing is resonant doesn't mean that the thing is going to have great tone, because the rest of the guitar doesn't need to shake. It's not an acoustic guitar. An acoustic guitar needs to shake because it's moving air. This, we are changing one form of energy to another. That's a completely different thing. We're changing this motion into electricity. That is a completely different goal. So people get all weird about, well, the finish thickness isn't going to let it resonate and breathe, and all this weird, you get all this stuff. And there's going to be a lot of comments on this video, and people are going to fight about this, but the bottom line is we don't want to lose energy. We don't want to lose energy from here to here. I'm going to show you something with my dining room table that is going to amplify and exaggerate this very thing. Okay, so I've rearranged some things because I want to show you something with the T-style guitar. Okay, and this is going to kind of exaggerate the point. As you can see, I've left the audio recorder. It's in the shot, but I wanted to show you that it's here because we're putting it. I haven't moved it. That's basically kind of where it was when we were speaking earlier, but we're a lot closer to it now, because what I want to show you is just because something is resonant doesn't mean that it's good. Okay, because you can take this guitar, okay, and we can strum it. All right. And it makes that much noise. Now we can take the same guitar and we can hold the peg head, and I'm not even gonna like press it against it or anything. And we can put it on the table, which is shaped like a guitar pick. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. And it's hugely loud. It makes the entire table resonate. But what that is that is energy escaping from the guitar going into the table. We don't want it over there. We want it right here to right here. Okay? So what I'm saying is, in a more finite way, not so exaggerated, when you have a guitar that shakes out of your hand, that's what's happening. Okay? The energy is going from where we want it, which is here. Okay? Now the energy is over there. We don't need it over there. We don't need it over there. And so when people say, oh man, this guitar resonates so much, it must have so much tone. No. It just shakes a lot. And the reason they think it's got more tone is because when we play something, the vibration that we feel in our body affects how our inner ear hears it. So now we're hearing it from two places. We're hearing it from the air coming out of the amp, from the speaker, plus we're hearing it from the inside out because the thing is in our hand, and it's affecting how we hear the guitar. The interesting part about that is it screws with the frequency and the amplitude. So we think that it's got more tone, when really it doesn't. We just feel more of it coming through our body. Now, that being said, if you want the thing to shake out of your hand because it makes you play different, then maybe it does affect your tone. But on a technical basis, we really just want all the energy to stay between the saddle and the nut as much as possible and not escape through the dining room table or through the body of the guitar or any other place. My name is Dylan. This has been Dylan Talks Tone. This is kind of a crazy one. Let me know what you think. And please check out kprlive.com at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday nights for Dylan Talks Tone on the radio. And if you have any ideas for stuff that we should be talking about, please let me know, because it's a lot of fun. We have a Facebook group, Facebook page that's live with comment streams, so you can be part of the live show. We're going to have some interviews. We have all kinds of fun stuff. And please join us. I have a co-host, and she's awesome. So 9 o'clock Monday night Eastern Times on kprlive.com, and you can check out our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and argue with me, ask me questions, anything you want. And this is a lot of fun. I hope you all have a great day.